All right. I'm so tired. I don't even know how to start. Sorry. Hello, guys. My name is Melbay Guy, and welcome to my programming class. So we are closer to ending this week's session. So today we want to look at what do you want to look at today? We want to write an application. Let's go here. So we want to write a mini application program of software that can calculate the perimeter of a perimeter perimeter of a rectangle of a rectangle. So today we want to write a mini application program or software that calculates the perimeter of a rectangle. So we know that we have to plan. We can't just stand up and write a program. We need to plan. So our three main planning stages, steps that we can follow. And we've listed them here. So first we have to understand the problem. We need to know what we want to build. You get it? We need to understand what we want to build. So we want to build, so the problem, building perimeter of a rectangle rather. Rectangle. Perimeter of a rectangle calculator. That's what we're gonna build, or rectangle software or program. So building perimeter of rectangle calculator. Solution, solution, we need to know how to calculate the perimeter of a rectangle before we can teach the computer how it should find the perimeter of a rectangle. You get it? So to find the perimeter of a rectangle, there is a formula there's a formula. So we need to multiply the length of the rectangle by 2 and multiply the breadth of the rectangle by 2. And then we need to sum the results. So I don't know how you put this formula, but it's a simple thing I'm trying to say. Yeah. So to find the perimeter of a rectangle, we need to multiply the length of the rectangle by 2 and multiply the breadth of the rectangle by 2. And then we need to sum the results. So a way to write it is we can write it this way. 2 times length plus 2 times, I want to make use of the bracket, so let's use double quote for this guy. So 2 times length and 2 plus 2 times breadth. So actually this is a formula: 2 times length plus 2 times breadth, and this is the formula for finding the perimeter of a rectangle. So we need to know this. So if we know how to find the perimeter of a rectangle, we can start building the software. So our software, what's the behavior of our software? What's the requirement? It must take inputs from users. So which type of input will it take? It will take length and breadth from the user, because we want to evaluate it for the user. So we'll be taking the length, and we will need the user to supply the length and breadth of the rectangle so that our software can perform the operation and give them the results. So after we get the length and the breadth, the next thing we want to do is we want to evaluate it, process or perform operation on the input, the length and the breadth that the user has supplied. we want to perform operations on it. So which operation should we perform on it? We need a formula. Get it? That's why I always say that if you understand the formula, or if you know how the formula works, you just have to interpret it for the computer to understand, and that's all you will need to get a program running. So we need to take input. So let's do that. So we need to take the length and the breadth. So we need to define, sorry, we need to define the length and the breadth variable here. So a memory to hold the breadth. We have defined a memory to hold the length, a memory to hold the breadth, and area. No, this time we don't want to find area. So let's rename the memory perimeter. Perimeter. So we need to tell the user enter the length of the rectangle. And we'll store the results inside the length variable. Then we'll tell the user again to we're going to tell the user again to enter the breadth of the rectangle. And this time we will store the result in a variable called breadth. So enter the breadth of the rectangle. So after we've been able to retrieve the length and breadth values from the user, the next thing we do is now we have to process the input we've taken. So we've taken the length, we've stored it in this memory, we've taken this breadth, we've stored it here. So now we need to process it. We need to write an an expression that will evaluate the results, that will process the inputs. Yes, we need to write an expression that will process the input. So here, most times what we do is we try and write the formula for solving the particular task. So in the case of perimeter, we need to write the formula for perimeter here. That's what we do. So if we are finding area, we try and write the formula for finding area here. If we are finding even the volume of a cuboid, you need to write a formula here. We don't just write a formula, we have a way of writing it. So we need to write it in a way the computer will understand, so that the computer can, perform the expression, can evaluate the expression for us. Then we will take the result and implement it. So how do we find? So let's rename. Now we don't have any memory or variable called area. This time we are using perimeter. So we need to replace anywhere with written area with perimeter, because the variable doesn't exist. There's no memory named area. We have memory named perimeter at the moment. So here, what is the formula? We said the formula is what? The formula is 2 times length. So we need to multiply 2. What's the operator for multiplication? Or times asterisk is the operator for multiplication. So 2 times length. So you see capital L, the length, the name of the length, it starts with capital. So we need to write exactly capital. And now we want to do something. You see, this is mathematics, so we can use board mass and stuff. We can use brackets. The reason why we use brackets when dealing with expressions is sometimes we want to tell the computer to evaluate this one first before you go and try to evaluate the rest. You get it? Because of board mass issues, brackets first, addition, subtract. So sometimes we want to take control of what the computer should solve first before what. Sometimes we want to take control. That's why we use brackets. So I'm bringing another bracket 2 times breadth. So what does this thing mean? So this time, when the computer is going to evaluate this whole expression, it will first start with brackets, board mass, bracket first. So it will start with this bracket and evaluate this first. It will solve 2 times length. After it gets the results, then to come here and solve 2 times breadth. So after getting the result of this and the result of this, then it will add them. You get it? That's why we are using brackets. So you should always know how to represent your formula for the computer. Otherwise, you get results that you don't want. So 2 times length. So what is length? Length, the value inside length will be entered by the user. So if the user enters 5 inside here, so it will be here will be 5. So 2 times 5. The user enters 6 in breadth, so here will be 2 times 6. So 2 times 5 plus 2 times 6. And the whole results, the entire results, the final results will be stored in the variable called perimeter. And we will alert the perimeter. We will display the results in the perimeter variable or memory. And we are done. So let's run this program and see what we have. I'm so happy that I'm getting closer to the end of this week session. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I've been releasing and releasing and releasing videos for some time. I need to rest. I need to rest. So let's run the program and see. So we have the program here. So enter the length of a rectangle. Let's enter 2. Let's enter the breadth of the rectangle. Let's enter 1. So the perimeter is 6. How do we know it's 6? Let's try it on a real question. Okay, on a real question and see. So here, this side. So I told you before, you don't just start, you need to plan. You need to, if you want to build a calculator to solve perimeter of a rectangle, you can go to website and learn about how to find perimeters of a rectangle. So I came to this side, this side. I came to learn about perimeters. What is perimeter of a rectangle? What's the formula? You need to learn. After learning, then you can teach the computer how to do it. Because if you don't know how to solve it, don't attempt trying to teach the computer. Okay. So there are questions here that we want to use our calculator to test. So find the perimeter of a rectangle whose length and width are 5 centimeters and 10 centimeters. So length and width are 5 centimeters. So the length is 5 and the width is 10. Well, so the length is 5. So let's run our application. The length is 5 and the width is, or the breadth, another name for width is breadth, and the breadth is 10 centimeters. So what is the answer? The perimeter is what, 30 centimeters or something. Let's see. Where is it? So the perimeter is 30 centimeters. You get it? So we had 30 centimeters. Get it? So another way of rewriting the formula is this way: 2 and 2 times. So first you need to add the length and the breadth, then you multiply the results by 2. There are several ways of representing it. The most important thing is the representation must mean the same thing. So let's try a different question here. So we had 30, so we are right. We had 30 here. So it means the calculator can solve perimeters of rectangles. Let's try this example 2. The length is 12 and the breadth is 15. Then so we are finding perimeter of a rectangle with length 12 and breadth 15. Let's see what we get. 54 centimeters. Let's check whether we had it right. So we had it. Okay, let's see. 54 centimeters. So now we've been able to build a program, a mini application or program or calculator that takes that can, find the perimeter of a rectangle. So that is it for this session. In the next session, is the last exercise I'm going to give for this week. It's the last exercise. And for the subsequent ones, you should be able to do this by yourself. So let's finish the last one and let's talk. So thanks for joining the session. I appreciate it. I love you guys.